Hey, hey. Hi, guys. All right. So, welcome back. We are going to go ahead and get into some more fictional storytellings for subscribers and members. So, guys, if you did not already know this, that's what I chose to do today to both celebrate the equinox and to also say thank you to you guys for being amazing. Thank you for being part of my world, my channels. Thank you for your awesome energy. So, the way I will probably be here for 2 hours right now in this session. And then I'll be live again one more time tonight on Tarot Dog at 9 p.m. Just heads up on that. So all said and done, we will have been live for 7 hours today. So right now we're coming into the home stretch. We've done the first 4 hours and now we're coming into the last 3. So I know a lot of you I probably already got to. Some of you I didn't. Doesn't matter if I got to you or not. If you're here, you feel free. If I get to you again, that's cool. It doesn't bother me at all. It's whoever shows up and has time to pop in. It's all kind of fair game. I do select just at random, so just know I will never be able to get to everybody though, and it is just kind of scattered. And so you just keep typing E in the comments. One thing I will give you a heads up on is please, 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 if you are here to get a story, please make sure that you watch the video at least afterwards, because I know sometimes people miss things and then they think they didn't get one when they did. And so just bear in mind, I'm kind of giving the time to do it. So please only participate if you're actually wanting one, and then also going to follow up to watch it yourself to find out if you got one, because I don't timestamp these. Okay. But yeah, anyway, just because I can't go backwards in time and try to figure it all out again. So, but the videos are going to stay up so you guys can rewatch these and figure it out if you are just popping in and then, don't know if I got to you or not. All right, guys, here we go. Trish Peterson, hi, hun. Let's grab you one. Here we go. Trish, we have a King of Pentacles, an 8 of Wands. Oh, Selene, thank you so much. I'll get to you next week. All right, here we go. Trish, let me get you another, because I'm doing 3 card pulls and a 2 of Cups. Okay, this is beautiful. It looks like it's all systems go on a romance. We have somebody moving forward with intention. It seems like, I know this is just a King's card, but obviously we have a very cuddly duo. Looks fantastic together. I always think this is a duo who will have some really adventurous, fun times. And this is my Greece card. It just looks like they should be out in the Aegean. He looks kind of Greek too. Maybe she is. They both look beautiful together, and it's a sound and solid and stable relationship. But remember, this is a card of action. So it would be like somebody is gravitating toward or moving toward a romance, a relationship. It looks like this is the one. This is a stable one. This kind of indicates that it hasn't really started yet, or that it's on the horizon. Like she's crossing this kind of like, I don't know if she lives in an area where there are some significant water flows or flood zones or something, but she is crossing something like that in order to maybe end up finding him or meeting up with him. This doesn't have to be somebody that she already knows. It certainly could be, but it's somebody she will be crossing their path or going toward him. And boy, is he going to be thrilled about this. This is the 2 of Cups. If she may have to move or relocate to be with him, I think she's down to do that. Thank you so much. Hold on just a second. I don't want to get off track here. Let me just go ahead and Selene, I'm going to get to yours right now. I hate writing on that side of paper. And then Julie, did I just see? Yes, Julie, thank you so much, honey. I'll get to you in just a minute. AC, I'll get to you after Julie. I saw you out there, babe. All right, here we go. So Selene, let's get to yours next, baby. Nice to see everybody. Thank you all so much for being here. All right, Selene, we have got the Fool, we have got the 5 of Wands, and we got the Knight of Wands. Aries energy, possibly strong, masculine, taking a big old leap of faith, doing something that would then, I don't know, create interest, generate excitement. He may be thinking heavily about his next move, but I got to say, something just lit a fire in him. This is exciting energy. Maybe this is the first time in a long time he's had his heart kicked into high gear or something, or maybe lower than the heart, just because this is a passionate card. I feel like he has not revealed this yet, but him is excited about the idea of whomever just made him want to step, across a room and go pursue. He's definitely in pursuit mode. There is passion here. I mean, we're in springtime, and springtime tends to be a more, lusty time, but this feels new. It feels new to him. For a Fool card to be here, that's the first step on this new adventure. And I just kind of feel, I don't know why I'm getting this vibe that it's like somebody who looks up and is like, "Ooh, wow, who's that?" I want to go talk to that person. Okay, wow, I haven't felt like this in a long time. There's a great song by Heartless Bastard. It's been a while since I felt this way about someone. I'd really, really like to know you. It's something about, oh, your eyes are swimming in my head, and I really, really want to get to know you. Anyway, it's a really beautiful song. I think it's called Only for You, but fantastic singer, fantastic song. My God, thank you guys so much. You're so incredibly generous. The Alchemist, you're so sweet. Well, bear in mind, babe, I don't really give any guidance, but I will do my best for storytelling. Just please do remember, I am just a fictional storyteller. Oh my God, thank you so much. You were so sweet. AC, you little angel. All right, hang on. AC, RT, and Alchemist. All right, here we go. But first, I got to get to Julie. All right, Julie, my dear. Thank you again for that. Super generous. All right, here we go. Julie, we have got a 7 of Cups. It is sideways. We have a 5 of Wands upright. We have the 10 of Wands in the reverse. We have 2 people in this story, and one looks like a feminine who is kind of knocking it out of the park, right? Very agile, very sure-footed, very intelligent. Blockages for her are just problems to be solved, not anything that she can't handle. Now, her energy of thinking through things and finding resolution is different than perhaps this masculine who has been similarly kind of stuck and wondering what to do. But he's kind of, I don't want to say that he's saying, okay, I'm not going to worry about it. She'll solve it. I know she'll figure it out. I don't mean he's like apathetic or he's not putting in energy, but he might actually say, I'm going to defer to her because she has a way of finding answers and solutions. So I am going to say in this, he's kind of decided, I'm not going to stress and worry about this because I know she probably already has an idea of what move she's going to make. I do think a masculine is deferring to a feminine to make the decision on something. And I don't think it's out of like, oh, I don't care. I think it's more, maybe it's even a consideration of like, what do I think she would do? What do I think she would like? What do I expect her to do? And it's like, I know her. She's freaking brilliant. I don't think this is an insult or this is an apathetic, like I'm not going to do anything, somebody else can handle it all. I don't see it that way, but I definitely see a masculine knowing I'm going to defer to her on this. And I think she probably already has an answer. And I think she probably is already rocking the answer to this. And so he's relaxing because she problem solved it already, or she put the picnic together, so to speak. So, I mean, maybe that's good, maybe that's not, but that's what we got. Let's put it that way. AC, you're up next, babe. Here we go. Hi, everybody. All right, AC, we have got a 5 of Swords upright, an Ace of Cups, a 9 of Wands. Definitely starts out with the acknowledgement of some rough seas, right? Some rocky terrain, some arguing, like almost somebody was pissed off about something, right? And instead of holding on to that, rock here, I think a character has decided, instead of being irritated, instead of being pissed, let me do what I can do. I would rather find, oh God, I'm hearing a heart full of love. No fear, no regrets, from Les Miserables. It's like all 3 are singing it. Marius and Cosette and Eponine. But it's such a beautiful piece of music. But I just feel like there's something about like, I'm not going to bother to be upset or be pissed off about something. I'm going to go ahead and fill my heart. And the more I fill my heart, the more I do things for myself, the more I do kind things for me, the more it softens my frustration over something. Or in this case, it could be somebody who says, no, I'm going to go and give beautiful energy outward because honestly, I had a bad day. And the only way to counteract that is to do something kind. And that way I can heal. And that way I can get over this rock. I mean, it does look like our character with these rocks here. I don't know if somebody collects rocks or if that's going to be a grounding thing. Maybe they have a worry stone. Maybe they need to go out and sit with like a nice, hunk of stone. There's something very, I don't know. I'm an earth baby. So sitting and being out in nature or sitting on the ground, or I prefer a warm rock. I'll admit the lizard in me loves that. But it just feels like a character knows to heal what I'm pissed over or stressed over, I have to do a positive action to counterbalance it. And that gets me through it faster than anything. And I also feel like this is maybe where some of our characters' best ideas come from too. Like this could be a powerful motivation moment. And maybe this character is going to realize that almost every time when something really pisses them off, they kick into high gear and they do something incredibly positive. So it's like channeling the energy into something wonderful, like the same way we would channel, the solar heat into solar power and then generate something else. Like that's what our character does. They take anything negative and they transform it, transmute it. And I think they're realizing, damn, I'm pretty good at this. This is where some of my best ideas come from. It's a good time to journal, not to even, for this character, it may not be to even let out emotions, because I think they do that anyway. They transform emotions, but I think out of that is generated fabulous plans, fabulous ideas. Kind of interesting. This character has they've got a whole jar full of amazing ideas that I think that they're going to be inspired by right now. And that could get them started on a whole new path in life. And it's like, damn, who'd have guessed that one really annoying day generated this massive change in my life? So kind of an exciting energy for this character for sure. I'd love to see what they do. All right, next up, RT. Here we go, my babe. Let's see what we got. RT, so great to see you, love. We have a King of Wands. We have a 10 of Wands. We have a King of Coins. We're over here in Manlandia. It doesn't have to be that it's all about dude energy, but we certainly do have the masculine. Now, the masculine energy could just represent that somebody is in this forward, I am making decisions in my life. I feel like I have my power, my control, my voice. And first thing is a character is moving forward with their heart and then moving forward with their, kind of their sense of purpose. It's what I want. And it's also this, I can see this future. And honestly, a lot of stress is coming off of me right now. The more powerful we feel, the less stressed we are. And I think that this is a really positive turn in our character's life. Whether they identify as masculine or feminine is irrelevant. They're coming into I feel in control of my future. And what's most important is I don't feel like I'm stressed anymore. I don't know if this character is about to get some really good news and it's going to make them feel like, oh my God, I can totally lay something to the side and I just get to forward project into what I want to build my life into. But this looks super, super positive and someone gets all their power back. Oh, I love seeing that for a character, that it just feels so, I don't like a breath of fresh air. It feels like at last. Of course, now I'm hearing Etta James. Maybe this is going to be someone who is able to do anything from here on out. Find love, pursue, a career path that they want. Honestly, this person could go after career and love, just because we did see Pentacles and the fire energy. But my impression is after a long period of time, our character got all of their own freedom and choices back. So super exciting. All right, next up, Alchemist. Let me get to you, babe. What do we have? Ooh. Okay, we got a couple of extra cards. My rule is always if a few more come out, I have to keep them because otherwise I'd be picking and choosing, and that's not the way I can do this. Not if it's true improv and true storytelling. We got to let it happen as it happens. We have the Magician upright. We have the Knight of Pentacles upright. We have the Four of Cups sideways, along with the King of Wands and the Five of Pentacles. Some shared energy or indecisive energy. I almost think that we do have a two-character scenario. We have somebody who's standing in like this place in that they could be Virgo or Gemini energy placements here, and they're thinking about what they want to create, and they have this plan, and there is going to be part of their tree of life. This is going to be something they would really put forth their energy on, and it's going to be kind of like maybe a life achievement, or like, you know what I'm going to do? I have this great plan for my life. There's something I've always wanted to add into my world, or a career path or something I've always wanted to do, and I'm going to make it happen. This is the new direction my life is taking. So I definitely feel like a character is manifesting a life path. And I feel like this is our lead character. I want to go in a certain direction. That's what I'm going to do. Okay. But external to that, we have somebody that is just, it could be a King of Wands, and they seem to be missing our character. They seem to feel like they're missing out, maybe on this life journey. This is somebody who misses what they think is home. It does come across like a masculine who wishes that they were with this character on their journey, because this character is going places. This character seems to be very dedicated, and it's like whatever path this character is taking is going to lead them in a whole new direction. And we have somebody, this could be an ex, this could be somebody who once upon a time could have gone where this story goes, but it looks like instead they kind of sat this one out, and maybe they're maturing enough to realize, like, I should have been joining forces and going this direction also, or I wish I was still with this person. Who knows what my life could have been if only I had joined them. So it does look like we have possibly a masculine lamenting the fact that they wish they could go back in time and undo. I don't know. I feel like they sat out instead of joined in. And our lead character, that's not their lookout, right? Maybe once in a while they go, yeah, I kind of wish that too. But all said and done, I'm not holding back on my plans because you weren't there to join me. This is my tree of life. And I feel like that's how our character is so empowered. Yes, there could be a little bit of disappointment in their mind too, because it's like, you could have been with me, but you aren't. And that sucks a little, but not enough to slow me down. So I really feel like our character is just going forth. Like if this character's like, I always wanted to build my dream house with a partner, but you know what? Somebody wasn't ready to partner up. That's okay. I'm still going to go ahead and build my dream house. It could be something big like that. I'm going to pick where I want to live. I'm going to pick the business I want to build. I'm going to pick where I want to immigrate to. I'm going to go ahead and do like a big life path for me. And it does suck a little because somebody I might have allowed to come with me, but if they sat it out, they might have missed the train. And look, I would just say this. Our character seems pretty confident about the path they're making. Doesn't mean that there's no potential for this King of Wands sideways to necessarily, rejoin them. That could still happen. But you notice it's not our character who has to pick up the pace. Our character is staying true to their plan that they've just created for themselves. So I don't see our lead character, backtracking at all. I only see them doing exactly what it is that they want to do and move forward in their own life. So maybe a little bit tough for somebody to, I don't know, see the other person, move on. Tina's just passing time here. So sweet. Oh my God. You guys are so amazing. Hang on just a second. I want to make sure that I don't get a chance or don't accidentally miss you guys. You guys, thank you so much. It's pouring rain. Angel, hang on just a second. I'll get to you in just a second. I want to write this down so I don't make a mistake. Crystal Suzanne, I see you out there, babe. I'll get to you as Sun Truth VZN also. Hang on just a second. And then I have to, sorry. Oh, Brujita Beauty, it is my pleasure, babe. You're welcome, Julie. Thank you. Hang on just a second. I missed him. Daisy, you angel. Thank you so much, Daisy. Hang on just a second. You'll be after Sun Truth VZN, okay? It's me, Victoria. Thank you, babe. You'll be after Daisy, okay? I have to make sure I write this so I can read my own handwriting. Otherwise, I can't read my own handwriting. Tina's just passing time. That is so, so sweet of you. All right. Tina's just passing time. We will gift that to Motor City Mama. Motor City Mama. Oh my God. Tina, you were too kind. Thank you, Angel. That was really sweet. Shout out to you in London, mate. Hi, babe. Okay, I'm just going to call you London and grab a card for you, okay, sweetheart? You'll be after Motor City Mama, okay? All right. Let me jump back on into these. You guys are so awesome. RT, you are so loved. We all adore you, babe. So good to see you. All right, I think we're caught up. Okay, so here we go. Hi, Heather. Heather Cowdrick, hang on. I know you've been super patient. Heather, you'll be after London, okay? You've been super patient today. Thank you so much for being here, honey. I know I've seen you every time and I didn't ever get a chance to get one for you. All right, so pouring rain. It's pouring rain. Here we go. Sorry about that little delay there. The chat moves fast, and if I don't get to it, it disappears. It's pouring rain. We start out with a Knight of Swords in the reverse. We have a Page of Pentacles upright. We have a Two of Wands upright. So somebody's still in a process because they're all minor arcana. It does look like we have possibly a masculine who is kind of she loves me not kind of thing. Pages are communicators. Sorry if you hear Aries out there. He's floofing a giant rug, which he cannot floof, but he's trying. But this person doesn't seem in a hurry to communicate. Maybe that suits our feminine just fine because she seems to be at a crossroads. She either could be wondering or maybe even setting like a bit of an ultimatum in her mind, like, you know, if he doesn't have enough gumption to pursue what he wants or reach out or make something happen, then maybe I'm going to go in a different direction. She's sitting here resting, not riding her bike right now, but we've got the disco ball above her, which I always think that this is a feminine who has lots and lots of beautiful ideas, lots and lots of spectacular thoughts and things that she can conjure up and ideas that she can, you know, think about in her own life. And all I can say is this ain't her only, you know, horse in the race. If I could be so rude as to say that. I think as much as he's contemplating reaching out, but maybe not in a super serious fashion, she's already contemplating on other more sparkly, more exciting avenues or options. And I don't mean to devalue anybody and be like, I'm not sure about them, they're not sure about me, who the hell cares about this? It doesn't feel like that. You know, sometimes the vibe is there and sometimes the vibe isn't. Sometimes it's a matter of the right time or not the right time. This could be two people that were both hemming and hawing, like, I wonder, should I reach out? Even if there's two people who have each other's number and it's like, I don't know, should we get together? Should we not? Should we reach out? Should we not? Both of them seem a little bit like now doesn't seem to be the time. I don't think that this is to be rude to one another or to be like, oh, you're not worth my energy. So I don't want to read it that way. I honestly think maybe now is not the time, since there's not a confident, yes, I'm going to do this with intention and direction, and I'm going to drive over to see you, and this could just be like the snapshot of one evening. Maybe everybody's kind of sleepy. Maybe instead of going out this Friday night, something will happen, you know, next weekend. Lots of times I even will see this. I'll be like, man, I'm exhausted. And then I'll go ahead and do a video and like everybody's already gone to bed. Like nobody's online. And it's hilarious because it'll be like 50 of us hanging out. And I'm like, everybody went to bed. They're all in their jammies and sleeping right now. and I think collectively, sometimes we all just get tired. Collectively, sometimes it's just time to pause for a minute. And then maybe when everybody feels a little bit more peppy, then we'll see where this goes. Might be a time for daydreaming too, or night dreaming, or just taking a night off and relaxing. None of this looks negative to me. It's a process where we haven't really even gotten into any court cards. We haven't gotten into any major arcana. So I would not say that this is never going to happen, or this is useless, or these are people that don't care about each other. I just think everybody needs to, you know, do what they need to attend to right now, and then see what happens maybe in a few days. That's how that comes across to me. It's not a no, it's a maybe not yet. All right, next up, Crystal Suzanne, here we go. Hi, guys. So nice to see everybody. You guys are so lovely. All right, so Crystal Suzanne, 3 of Wands, Queen of Coins, 8 of Coins. That 3 of Wands energy is, I'm looking to my future. I'm headed off into my future. Queen of Coins says, my future is going to be filled with all kinds of excitement. It's going to be filled with all kinds of opportunities. It's going to be filled with all kinds of chances to go ahead and build the future that I want. This is about money. This is about wealth. This is about a career. This is about adventure. This is about, I think our character is going to have a lot to give and then also a lot to receive. Now, this is a work-oriented character. And what I mean is, anything we do in life requires work. But we have a character who's got this plan in mind. I can't wait to get to my future. I cannot wait to go ahead and, pounce into what I'd like to have in my upcoming future. That looks really fun. It looks really exciting. And it looks like our character is going to meet somebody. This is all up ahead. This is like the next 3 days to 3 months. But this looks like a character is going to go ahead and get this opportunity to leap into something where their hard work, they could combine forces with possibly a divine masculine. There could be a major, international city or something. She could be doing something online. This could be a, digital nomad type of lifestyle, but it could lead her to faraway places and tons of success. I feel like a character is, I don't know, she seems like an adventurer, and she seems like somebody who cannot wait to just create a life that's more lush, where there's more resources, where there's more flexibility. But as she pursues her dream, I think it's going to put her in contact with somebody else who's of a similar mind. Great, intention to build. When people want to build and they put their effort into it and they do it joyfully, it's amazing what can be built. And it's amazing when they start to attract other people that have similar mindsets. It kind of snowballs into something more positive and more successful. Most of this feels like companionship more so than romance, and building a legacy more so than building like a marriage. But if that's what our character's mind is set on, then no wonder, because that's what they're going after. That's what they're finding. That's where their mindset is. And it's a really joyful and successful way to, if we're going to pick what we're putting our energy into at different points in life, right now, this character is all about future energy and legacy building. So very fun. All right, Sun Truth VZN, thanks for your patience. Really great to see you today, love. Here we go. You guys, thank you. You guys are so kind. We have a King of Pentacles upright. We have the 9 of Swords in the reverse. We have the High Priestess in the reverse. The High Priestess knows beyond a shadow of a doubt. Nothing is hidden anymore at all. If this was upright, she would have a murky sense, but now it's totally raw, naked, straightforward, and it has to do with something has healed in this king. So this King of Pentacles, either he just shows up in her world and she's like, whoa, that's a different energy on him. He's looking at me with this serious look. I can sense he's stable. I can sense there's an intention here. He has something generous to offer me. I can feel a change in him. Maybe she always kind of deep down knew this timeline could occur, but man, him showing up like this in her world, she will be able to I don't know, he may even smell different. He may smell like success, smell like cologne. There's something about his energy, the way he looks at her, the look in his eyes. She will know this intuitively, but also probably with something visual. It's like the energy between them will be different. There will be a sense of confidence. She will be able to tell this is not a wounded warrior anymore. This is a fully healed, taking charge of his life, and he's got something to say to me. He's offering me not just a pentacle, but he's offering me like a king. He knows what he wants, and it's translating. I understand what he's all about. I don't have to question it. I feel like a real sense of security has just been locked in place. When something clicks, like your seatbelt clicks, and you're like, okay, that's it. It was aligned. Or if you're building something and, oh God, heaven forbid, the amazing but also complicated IKEA furniture, and when it all clicks and it moves perfectly and it's like, wow, this is a freaking brilliant thing. It's a brilliant design and it all works. That's how this is going to click and feel, I think. Very exciting. Oh, I love that. He could be an earth sign or he's just showing up in earth's energy. So very grounded. Very nice. All right, next up, Daisy, my dear. Here we go. Thank you so much, Daisy. Ooh, Daisy, we got a little extra here, so we got to keep it. We have a 7 of coins. We have an Ace of Cups. We have an 8 of Pentacles. We have an Ace of Coins. Somebody needs to buy stamps, or they need stamps, or they're getting a letter in the mail, snail mail, that could be important, that has to do with business-related stuff. And that's just a side note. Many things might be coming together all at once. So things that were forgotten about or left, somewhere in the back of somebody's mind for a long period of time have been slowly growing. Now we have a masculine who has perhaps over time been like his heart, his love, his emotions have been growing. And this could be somebody who wants to actually express that. This is somebody offering their heart after this long period of time. The 8 of Coins says this feminine has been building and growing things as well. And I just think, again, as a side note, there could be maybe 2 important documents or pieces of mail, letters that she needs to open. I'm not saying from him. In fact, I don't think it's related to him at all. I think this could be, maybe it's an email or something from him, but I feel like there's like, like a rebate check or something that she needs to look, open the mail that we think is junk mail too. Because sometimes, you get that membership rebate or something like that. And if you don't cash it within, 45 days or something, you lose that. So there's something here about she also has earned some wins, some success, because we have a lot of wealth related energy here on the Ace of Coins, but it says kind of everything is getting funneled toward this feminine right now. All of this is a long time coming, which is maybe the other reason why it's like, hey, open the old mail, don't let it just stack up. Things have been coming into the works for a long time. This is a change for her, a time of great abundance, but that maybe is long overdue, and it's abundance in everything. Finally hearing from somebody who's matured enough to offer their heart, getting some of the documents, or like I say, rebate checks or whatever, that have been long overdue and being mailed to her. Everything comes in at once, and that's where it can get overwhelming if we don't pay attention to things in an organized fashion. Check emails, check spam folders, check documents, open up old mail, take care of things, because it's kind of like there's a little flood of successful things and benefits coming into her that she doesn't want to miss out on because they're for her. I love that for this character. I absolutely love that. AC, you better believe it's an owl. Yes, indeed. You were the first person to notice. All right, next up is me, Victoria. Here we go, babe. Actually, is me, Victoria. I want Tarot of Dreams. So I don't know if dreams in particular are important right now or not, but let's take a peek. All right, so we have got a 2 of Swords, we have a 9 of Coins, and we have the Empress. This feels like something that a character had blocked out of their life. They did for a very good reason, because it allowed them to focus more on their peace. You notice how she holds this dove, and it allowed her to focus on building her own, like, I want to say... I wanted to say the word flexibility first, and maybe it's financial flexibility. Maybe she stopped, answering everybody's call to, give things away or, help everybody else. Maybe she realized I need to get some of my own stuff sorted or squared away. Maybe she stopped giving time and attention, because sometimes our thoughts are a huge energy to give away. What's in our mind and our words and the hours that we can spend talking to somebody over the phone or writing back and forth with them, or just them taking up space in our mind. It looks like she blocked some of that and just started to focus on her own, like, inner being, her own innermost, even like confidence here. I don't know if she has like a cameo brooch or some oval, like crystal or gemstone, like necklace or pendant or something, but it could be something that also like maybe an amethyst or something that helped like ground her energy or cleanse her energy. All I can say is this time that she took to block other things so that she could actually just put her energy where she needed to. She blocked communication with somebody else so she could work on her. That served her very, very well because she shifted damn fast into full on Empress mode. This could have been somebody who said, I can't hang out with everybody. I can't play with my friends. I need to study all weekend so I can get my certification passed at work. And then, bam, I can actually apply for, like that huge promotion that they wanted to give me. But I also had to have that certification. Sometimes we have to short term block everybody else out so that we can focus on our own growth moment. This could also be I'm blocking out anybody that was sapping my strength. And maybe she didn't realize how much it had been sapping because she gets her strength back really fast. Her peace, her confidence. And now, as an empress, she's ready to like pour energy into her empire. I feel like this is somebody who's going to either get a new job or get some business started or, build something of her own empire. And I also have to say, it's like, because I have this visual in my mind of somebody who put up a fence around like their house. And I'm not saying like, oh, let me put up a fence around my little square piece of land so nobody else can ever, pick the apples from my apple tree. I don't mean it like that. I'm saying having good boundaries. That's a side note, maybe strange, but smelling a skunk could also be an indicator for her because skunks in the spirit animal, they represent boundaries. So I don't know why I'm smelling it right now as I'm talking about this. Not really. It's just, that's what comes to mind. That's, a memory of a skunk scent comes to mind. That feels like she has erected some protective walls around her energetic kingdom or like in her life in general. And that's going to, I think, bode well for her because she's got a lot to build right now and she's going to kind of like blossom like crazy. So I don't think she can have any more time wasters or unnecessary stressors. And I think she's like, yeah, no kidding. I got other things to nurture. It feels like a very successful chapter of this feminine's life. I will also say the empresses are the characters who tend to be married. There's long-term commitment. So why spend a bunch of time, losing energy to like people that maybe aren't potentially going to be long-term commitment energies. All right. Thank you again. It's me, Victoria. All right, here we go. Motor City Mama, you are up next, darling. Here we go. Hi, everybody. So great to see you all. That's wonderful. It's me, Victoria. That is so amazing. Congratulations to you, babe. Love that. And that's so funny because I always think of it smelling like skunk. All right, here we go. Motor City Mama. We are starting out with the full moon. I'm saying full moon because it's very full, but it's just the moon card. She does not know something beautiful is coming up behind her. And I love this moon card, not only because it's a gorgeous card, but we have the wolf and the dog together. And they're howling at the moon together like little buddies, like little pals. They're both enjoying like companionship, partnership. I kind of feel like she may not know it, but there is somebody just right for her and just her complementary opposite. And she may not know it yet, and yet it's kind of like bearing down on her. We have a 7 of Wands and we have the King of Cups, but this king has actually a feminine on it. So I'm going to say the 7 of Wands is how we overcome struggles, problems, blockages, obstacles, right? And the moon is what's hidden typically. So we have something that she is unaware has been hidden is somebody else had some blockages, and those blockages impeded their ability, even though they're a king, to step into their feminine energy. And the feminine energy would be the energy of the moon. So we're right back to the moon as well as the masculine. So this is very much about compliments, right? We keep seeing masculine cards or masculine on a card, but we're talking about them in a feminine energy. So, and even here with the wolf and the dog, 2 different energies and yet complementary. So we have like a divine masculine feminine dynamic. Doesn't matter about what gender. This could be same-sex couple, reverse gender roles, but the bottom line is they are actually a complement. But the masculine, or whomever is playing the role of the masculine, they felt for a period of time they had to climb a mountain. They had to make their mark in this world. Otherwise they couldn't, ascend and be ready for partnership. That is changing for them. They had been fighting. Acknowledging what they needed was maybe, that strong divine feminine energy in their life to actually balance them, or that they needed something. They might have pushed themselves to not need anything or anyone, yet they needed her. And it just says in this storyline, she doesn't realize it yet, but there's some major changes. Sevens are numbers of change. They're not there yet, not completely, although we see them climbing to the top of, the stack of books, like they're learning this lesson. I just feel like this partnership is coming back in to a feminine's life. And she may say never, that person will never drop their ego. I don't know that it was ever ego per se. It was they drove themselves and said, I'm not allowed to want something softer. I'm not allowed. Maybe they had that, programmed into them. Like maybe they are very intuitive masculine fighting their intuition, because all this is about intuition too. But something's starting to give, something started to change. Something in them is starting to acknowledge, but I want my compliment. And so even though she would not guess this person would shift this way, it looks like they will. At some point. It's not happened yet, but it's underway is what it says. You know what? I kind of love that one. It's always hopeful to see a character who could maybe, soften their energy and maybe shift into like acknowledging that it's okay to want something good in your life. It's okay to want love. All right, London, you are up next. Shout out to you, mate. Here we go. I don't think I've ever caught you in a live where I pulled a card for you before. So let's see, what is this little fictional story? We have got a Magician upright. We've got the Queen of Cups upright. We have the Ten of Cups upright. Good collection of cards here. We have got Virgo Gemini energy for starters, somebody who is really ready to manifest. Then we have this feminine who's in this really watery energy, really also ready to use her dreamscape in order to manifest. And together, these two can like make cherry pie. They can make something so sweet, so wonderful. We have this Ten of Cups. It's interesting because I want to say immediately that these two have known each other through lifetimes. They're both quite magical. She through the dreamscape, maybe she astral travels, maybe she has prophetic dreams. He through this power of transmutation, he, channels his energy into things that he wants to create. Now he could be somewhat of like a chemist or something along those lines, or somebody that combines things to make something else out of it. I mean, heck, this could be somebody who does metallurgy. This could be somebody who, works with his hands, who maybe this is somebody, since I talked about cherry pie, maybe this is somebody who's a chef, a baker, who knows. But he creates, and he has his own special, I don't know, they both seem very gifted. They both seem very like esoterically gifted. Everything that they do in the 3D world has a bit of the 5D magic mixed into it. And you get those two together, and it kind of looks like this is going to be, maybe finally in this lifetime, they get to fulfill something that they missed out on in a past lifetime. Because it feels like these two have been hunting for each other without knowing it, maybe through lifetimes. And this time they're getting serious. This time they're like, guide me to my greatest outcome. Guide me. Let me listen to my subconscious. Let me listen to my hopes and dreams. Let me find the thing that will be the greatest, outpouring of happiness with the greatest match and companionship in this lifetime now. And I feel like these two are going to have that happiness in the 3D world, but they are using their 5D magical energy to locate each other in this lifetime. I don't know. This is a very magical storyline. Those are my favorite ones. So I really like this one for them. And I like it because, oftentimes we talk about people are either doing 5D stuff or 3D stuff. And usually it's a detriment, not for these two. Not for these two at all. And that's a nice, just like a little twist, because I don't usually see that. That's actually really fun. All right, next up, Heather Cowdrick. Here we go, my dear. Heather, I'm going to go with this deck. And Heather, great to see you, honey. I know I missed you earlier today. It's such a delight to catch you. Aw, you guys are so welcome. Thank you. We have got a King of Cups, or King of Rain, as they call him here. He looks a little stubborn. His snow is melting, so he's thawing out, but this is normally somebody who would be very open with their emotions, right? But he's not so open with his emotions, or wasn't, but something, maybe he's like the scary looking, but actually like gentle-hearted, like teddy bear vibe. We have the Six of Ashes, that Six of Wands. And she's out here looking amazing. She's out here looking powerful. Cosmo guy, you angel. I'll get to you next, babe. Heather, we got to get a third card here. If we have like this hulking, ferocious dude who is, like he's dropping his guard because he sees this. I don't know if she's like some petite little powerhouse herself, but it's there's something here where I feel like she's like an angry Tinkerbell and he just is kind of warm-hearted over her. We have the King of Pentacles. He also, as well as like respecting her and feeling emotion for her, we also see him feeling like a protective energy. You notice how his energy is like circling around her. We got a little sandwich going on. I feel like his instinct is I know she's powerful enough, brave enough, sassy enough, smart enough to pretty much be successful on her own wherever in life she lands, but doesn't mean I don't want to be around that energy and that I don't feel the need to protect her and the need or the desire to like kind of make sure I'm by her side. This feels very sweet. Whomever this is, I have to get one more card. Character, have you already met her? Have you made your move on her yet? Is this something that's about to happen? We have Emperor. Holy smokes. Okay, so I'm going to say that this is energy in the divine masculine that's just now coming to the surface. This because he's evolved in this storyline, right? First, the ice has melted. He feels emotion. He feels appreciation for her. Then he feels a groundedness. And now he's grown fully into the Emperor within just a 4-card span. So I'm going to say this is a divine masculine who's basically falling for this feminine who is very feisty. Like this is no, she could probably handle herself anywhere. But the bottom line is that's one of the things he adores about her. And it's instilling in him this respect, but also the desire to protect, but also the desire to be a great partner. What a great energy. If we're going to inspire anybody to do anything, it's nice to see that we might inspire them to want to be a partner and a powerful and like, you know, it doesn't have to be a masculine, even though we had so much masculine energy, but I'm going to use the word chivalrous anyway, because I know it's usually associated with the masculine and I don't really read for genders, but we certainly had some confident, powerful masculine energy. So, and kind of like old school and definitely protective. Very nice energy. Heather, Angel, thank you so much. All right, Cowdrick. Heather Cowdrick, thank you so much. And now Cosmo Guy. So I'm tripping on my tongue here. Hi, everybody. All right, here we go. Cosmo Guy, thank you so much, honey. It's always great to catch you. Cosmo Guy, we have the World, we have the Lovers, and we have the Page of Wands. And I do love this Lovers card. This is probably one of my favorite as far as just like the artwork. I don't know if we have some future that takes us. I always think of this as like Peru or Ecuador, Bolivia, someplace high up in the mountains. And I've as I was a kid, I used to read a lot of adventure books, always about different places around the world because I've always wanted to travel my whole life. And so maybe that's why this is so appealing to me. And even the fact that all 3 of these cards have adventure on them, right? She's literally got her traveler's, safari hat on. We have all of these, like patches or badges that you would get in like national parks that you could sew onto a jacket or a backpack to say I was there. We have her with her camera. We have her with the energy of a cat, somebody very free-spirited. We have the World, which is literally can be about travel, changing our life. I think that this is a character who is not going to have a dull existence. This is not somebody who is going to live the standard life either. This is somebody who should probably write their autobiography at some point because they're going to have a much more colorful life, a much more passionate life. They could be destined for like their next big adventure could take them. It doesn't have to be that it takes them to faraway lands. Heck, they could go into a Peruvian restaurant, fall madly in love with somebody. But when we meet somebody, especially somebody, from a culture, we get to experience their culture with them and through them. I could see our character being drawn to things that they can learn from, learn about, and that could take them into, like we can live a lot of different lifetimes and a lot of different timelines in one life as long as we stay curious about the world and interested. And let me tell you, this character is curious and interested. I feel like even though this looks beautiful, this is not like the destination is to take one trip, meet somebody, have a passionate love affair, have it last a couple of years or forever. This is like a character who's probably going to pick up a lot of life experiences. This is the next adventure, but then their adventures continue on because we see them still never losing that passion for life or that interest about like but I want to see what's around the next mountain. I want to go see another place. I don't think this person will ever stop exploring, loving life, meeting fabulous soulmates. Remember, Lover's card is a card of choice. I think this is a character who may have different people that they love at different points in their life. And this person ultimately may always have a bit of the adventurer spirit and a bit of the, like, they're always going to be a free person. Love does not mean that now I am connected. There's no ball and chain associated with love for this kind of a lead character. Our lead character will always maintain their autonomy, but they also are a wonderful partner. But I just don't think that their whole goal in life is must find partner, must stay in one spot with one partner. Hey, if it happened, it happened. That would be a whole nother adventure for this character. But I kind of see them as somebody who's going to have more variety, or at least in, the next chapter or two. Again, this character will have so many chapters in their book of life. They may be married, happily married for many, many years, and they may still, branch off in other directions and, plan big trips, and maybe it'll be with a partner. At some point, they'll travel alone, though, too. This is a character not lonely, never actually. This is a character very excited about their life, but they have places to go. They have stories to write. They have photography that they need to do. They have lovers to kiss. This is like my favorite kind of friends to talk to are the ones who are always like roaming, and they always have great stories to tell because they've gone different places, and it's fascinating. I feel like this is somebody who will probably pick up a couple different, at least bits of languages throughout their lifetime as well, but they need to write their autobiography because their life story does not stop. Their life story goes on and on and on. It's going to be quite the ride for them. They have many, many adventures still to go. Cosmo Kai, that's awesome. It's so cool. Traveling's the best, isn't it? Hi, Mel. Let me grab you one right now, sweetheart. Here we go. Mel, we have got the King of Wands and we have the Moon. And I know we have a Queen on that King of Cards. So that could be a feminine who's in, this powerful, like, I'm striding forward, I'm pursuing what I want. But with the Moon there, that's something that is hidden. Okay. And then we have the Sun sideways. So we are playing with the masculine and feminine dynamics here, right? Because we have, the Moon and the Sun being depicted. So that would be, literally the feminine energy and the masculine energy. And then on this card, we have the feminine energy and the masculine energy. So either we have two people that are going to collide, and they will be, how was that song? I am the sun, you are the moon. I am the words, you are the tune, play me. Is that Neil Diamond? It could be like two people are destined to meet each other, and they could be great tango dancers, by the way. In tango, like Argentine tango, oftentimes characters like swap roles from who's the leader versus the follower. It's not, like some of the standard ballroom dances, like the man is leading, the woman is following, and they have different steps that they take or do not take depending on gender. Argentine tango is like, y'all get to fight it out and figure it out and push back on each other and complete each other and lean into each other and support each other as you swap who's in the lead and who's in the follower's role. That's what this feels like. To me, this is maybe I could say a more passionate love story on the horizon for a character. Maybe they have needed to meet their... Look, I took Argentine tango and I'm 6 feet tall. So by the time I'm in heels, we're talking 6'3". To find a partner tall enough and weighty enough to lean in, because in Argentine tango, you have to lean and produce that tension between each other. The taller and longer you are, like, think of a long piece of like a board, it warps at some point and it gets really wobbly. It's not easy to have a good, strong base when the taller you are, unless you got great core strength and you have a strong partner. This person, they're not going to have that problem. There is going to be some kind of perfectly balanced tension, passion, creative. I mean, yes, they will probably be adversaries sometimes, but not in an angry way. They will be two halves of the same coin that need one another, or like I say, two dancers that will be able to truly match each other. And it's all because of that flip-flopping of roles. Sometimes they maybe understand that we each come to the table with different strengths, and maybe they didn't even know what they were looking for, but finding each other. It's weird. I've never had a story where I feel like this is depicting a couple not one person. And it's only because we have the sun, the moon, we have the masculine, feminine again. I feel like we keep talking about a lead character who didn't know that their complement, their perfect match, would be somebody that allows them to be in their masculine energy, allows them to slide back into their feminine energy. And the other partner does that as well. Sometimes you lead, sometimes I lead. Like, you know how we always like to, or like society kind of has trained us to say, oh, uh if we're going to talk about like gender roles, right, stereotypes on that, like, oh, the man takes out the garbage and the woman, does the dishes. These two are not going to care about any of that. It's like, are you kidding me? I love taking out the garbage and I want to be able to change oil in the car. And he's going to be like, cool, do that. I actually happen to love baking. Can I do all of our baking? Absolutely. I don't think that these two are going to have these pre-assigned roles. I think they're going to let each other do what the other one does best, do what they like to do best, and it's going to click for them. It's because they're more about like who they are as people and supporting each other as people. And I would almost say maybe our character didn't know until they meet this individual that that's why this works so well. It's really nice to see characters that are supporting each other in like what makes you happy, what are your creative gifts, what kinds of things do you want to do. I see it like a wonderful harmony for a duo. That's what it looks like. So very cool. Next up, Nicole, you are so sweet. Let me grab you one right now, babe. We have got the Chariot upright. We've got the Five of Swords. Okay, hang on. Let me get one more. So that Chariot card is different than most. And Six of Pentacles. This isn't bad. It's that, this card and this card together say there has been too much outside interference. There's been, look, a loving, but possibly, I'll use the word controlling family. I'm sorry, I was looking for something softer to say. We see this group, right? And the group is standing here like staring, saying, well, you're going to do what we think you should do, right? And that put pressure on a couple. This couple, they didn't have the fights and problems accept all those swords that come from the external world. So, sometimes the people that we love most in this world, the group that we hail from, our family unit, all those things, even like our societal group, our peer group, can put a lot of pressure on a couple, and the pressure, let's say, for example, it's like, well, how come you two aren't married yet? You're supposed to be married. Like, that's what we expect of you. The family could put pressure on a couple. And this couple might be like, oh my God, we have to like constantly answer these questions. And maybe we're not ready to answer those questions because maybe we just want a chance to build what we want to build for ourselves and figure it out. But now, it's bringing up all kinds of questions that we weren't ready to ask of ourselves or each other. But now there's all this conflict. And it just seems like things got messy because of pressure. Now, this Chariot is usually like a card of confidently moving forward. But how confident is somebody to move forward when the only reason that they're feeling like they have to move forward is because they've got six people shoving them with their words into what they believe is right? And both of these characters could have come from like similar backgrounds. And I say that because we have the Six of Pentacles, and it's like, that's two people might understand this and say, part of our problems are that our very loving but overstepping boundary wise family members or peer group, they actually produce more problems between us. You and me, we actually get along. When we have problems is when we're hearing too much talkity talk in our ears from family members and well-meaning relatives and all this stuff. Now that could be great because these two could bond and be like, you know what, babe, you and me, we're not going to let people tear us apart. We're not going to let other people's talk make us have conflict. Now, maybe it's about time that these two decide that. Maybe this has been an ongoing issue, and now it's time to confidently move beyond it and say, because something's got to change here with the Five of Swords. Fives are numbers of change. And we go into harmony with the Six. And here's the clock to tell us it's time. It's always hard, I think, to fully mature and not be bothered by the pressures, especially of like family groups and peer groups, especially when it's about something personal, that's when it's particularly hard, where it's like, oh my God, what are they doing? This is like so unbelievable that they keep putting pressure on stuff that's none of their business. But I also feel like when we get to a place of like peace is when we go, you know what? It doesn't matter if they want this or they want that. We get to do it our way. We don't answer to anybody. We get to pick what's right for us. And I kind of think that's where these two are going to end up. This could be a relationship that could work out great, even though for a while it looks like it was bumpy. But I think it was all because of external energy. So we see people getting through it. That's all I can say. We see these characters getting through it, which is nice. Nice for a change. Hi, Sammy. Let me grab you one, babe. Here we go. Okay, we have got Wheel of Fortune. It did come out in the reverse. Ace of Pentacles also in the reverse. King of Cups upright. This says it's not the right time. But where one window or door is shut, sometimes a completely different corridor opens up, because this says something is a no-go. I'll just say what I'm thinking of, which is we may have a character that is not going to be able to, like, let's say they wanted to move. Let's say they had a plan for this year. Oh, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do something big this year. I'm going to move. I'm going to travel. I'm going to change a career. I'm going to change this. And then it's like, wah, wah, actually, the world being complicated, maybe that puts, it's like throwing a stick in our bicycle spokes. It's like, damn, I'm not going to be able to make that happen this year. Bunch of stuff I was planning on, I can't do. The only thing is, where we are paused or asked to pause in life, sometimes the universe has a way of saying, instead of changing everything, what if you found what you were looking for right here? What if you never fully appreciated like exactly what was around you until it turned out you had to stay where you were? Sometimes we want to move away from a place that we live, but it turns out that we can't. We don't have the money to do that yet. And at first we could be bummed, or we could start to really invest and find all kinds of lovely things that exist in our own town. I lived in a town one time for 6 years, and I had never known that there was like this spa place that was open all night. It was like a membership thing. You would just go there anytime. It was great for somebody working crazy hours and only having like 2 a.m. to 3 a.m. to go exercise, sauna, all that stuff. So, I mean, and I had lived there already 5 years before I found out about this place. How did I not know that? Sometimes, and then you start to like fall more and more in love with the little town that you live in. And it's like, I did not even know that there are all these hidden gems. Likewise, if this is about, a character who's not going to be able to make some changes in their life, but they needed to be right where they are because there's already something beautiful there, or someone beautiful and loving that they never like got the time to meet and spend time with this King of Cups and get to know them. It says that might be why something else isn't moving forward in life, because a character is supposed to be right where they are, so they don't miss out on a really big gift or a really wonderful person. Now, this doesn't have to be a lover. This could be somebody who becomes a great, emotional bond. Not all emotional bonds have to be about romance or romantic love, but this is something our character's not supposed to miss out on. And so it's kind of sweet, and it's kind of nice that even against two cards that would look like a frustrating blockage, we have this wonderful reward. So it's definitely like, they always say if God closes the door, they open a window or something. That's kind of the adage for this, I think. Very beautiful, though. Hi, guys. Nice to see everybody. My pleasure. Black Butterfly. Hi, honey. AJSRVIM. Hang in there, babe. I get over to you in a second here. All right, here we go. Black Butterfly. Thank you for being here, babe. I'm still going to be on here for another hour. I'll break at 7. So just so you guys know. And then I'll be on Tarot Dog from 9 until 10. So we still have 2 hours total. Okay, so here we go. Black Butterfly 25. We have got Knight of Wands upright. We have 9 of Swords. And we have Strength card in the reverse. Somebody's really scared. Somebody's really bothered, and it's crazy because they might be bothered of their own behavior. They may be embarrassed. You notice how he's got his little visor down, trying to like slink away, like, oh, that wasn't me. Uh, I don't love it. This can be somebody who is scattered and, unreliable, and maybe they regret that. And now they're really stressed out about their past behavior and they're too embarrassed to face it. Doesn't mean this person was a liar and a cheat, but let's say they didn't have follow through and now they're dodging, because they said they were going to call on a certain day and then they didn't. This is I'm sorry, I'm laughing right now because I'm remembering something from my own life. Somebody that wanted to get together on Christmas Eve one time, and it was like I didn't understand how that was going to work, but I was like, "Are you sure?" I mean, yes, yeah, okay, well, and then I never heard from them on Christmas Eve, and then like 3 days later, they just called like that conversation never happened, and I was like, "So you do know that we had a conversation, and while I didn't think it was going to make sense, you do know that you said those words, right?" And they were just like so audaciously like, "Huh? Oh, yeah." And like that was it. There was no explanation. There's nothing. I was like, okay. Sometimes people just don't know how to handle their own. They know that they made a misstep. They know that they made a mistake. They know that they have been unreliable, and they're stressed out because they don't want to face the music. And I would just say this fits together perfectly, meaning somebody that is scattered, maybe they're impulsive, maybe they're not super mature, and it fits together with somebody who would also then be too scared to face any kind of actual conversation about their scattered behavior. And the thing is, I'm laughing, remembering this in my own life because I wasn't like devastated or heartbroken. I was like, okay, this person is like they're like a cat. Do not count on this person for anything. I put them in the category of cat. And that changes, expectation, that changes, how much effort or energy I would give, because I already know that person's not a reliable individual. So they basically, I'm not concerned about that whole situation anymore. And I just feel like even though this person is the one being all embarrassed, I feel like maybe their bigger concern should be, if you're unreliable, people are going to treat you like you're an unreliable little cat. You will still be likable, but they're probably not going to take you very serious. And while this character is embarrassed and afraid to face it, I don't think that this is like somebody's going to get yelled at. I don't think that this knight is like an evil person or anything. I just think that they've lost credibility and they're more afraid of like getting in trouble. But I think that all comes from like an immaturity. I don't see this as, our character is mad at this person. I see it more like laughable. I mean, at least maybe it's just because that's what it's sparking in my brain. Like it is kind of silly. It is kind of laughable is the way it comes across. So anyway, Black Butterfly. I know Aries I cannot change plans on Aries. Let me tell you, if I cannot flake out on my dog, or he will be there yapping at me to keep me on target. Oh, honey, good to see you. Priya, hang on. Priya, let me jot you down. I will get to you. I don't want to make a mistake. And hang on, because I've got to jump back here just for a second here. AJSRVIM, let me get to you, babe. All right, here we go. And Sammy, babe, I got to you, sweetie. Maybe your message though came up after I got to you. Sometimes, there you are. Okay, good. I was like, did you know that I got to you, honey? Keandra, hi, sweetie. Hang in there. All right, so AJSRVIM, I'm get to you next, then Priya, then Keandra. Okay. AJSRVIM. Here we go. We have got the Lovers sideways. We have the Three of Swords upright. We have the Perspective card, which is the Hanged Man. But I love this card because we're up above the clouds and we're in the rainbow energy and we're in the higher perspective. This does say possibly that a divine feminine, because that's who we see on this particular Lovers card, says, once upon a time, it did feel like I had a pretty big heartbreak. Something really bothered me. It could have been a betrayal of somebody that I loved or was in love with, or something that I really wanted to gravitate toward. And it was a heartbreak at the time. However, over time, I kind of started to realize maybe it wasn't so much that I was heartbroken or devastated by what it had happened, but more that it was so disappointing that it fell so short of what I wanted it to be, of what I needed it to be. Because this says our character, okay, let's put it this way. If you were looking for, let's say, some fabulous collectible item that you really wanted to find, and you thought you'd come across it, and you know it's like, oh my God, I found this. I've been looking for 5 years for it. I can't believe I found this. I'm purchasing it, and it arrives. And it's a total, like, not fairly represented thing. And you didn't get the authentic item. And so you still don't have that collectible thing you've been looking for. You're looking for something precious. And what you got sent was a fake or a knockoff or something altogether different. And it's like, oh, damn, what a bummer. The bummer is not because, how could you break my heart? The bummer is, damn, I still haven't found what I'm looking for. Great song. Is that you too? I still haven't found what I'm looking for. And I think maybe that sounds like a subtle difference, but you notice how much that like changes the heartbreak into something where it's like, well, hang on. It's just that I haven't found it yet. The quest continues. I didn't find what I was looking for. I got mailed the wrong thing, or I didn't find the lover of my life. I'm disappointed that I didn't find the lover of my life. I'm not really hurt over what they did or what they didn't break my heart. I'm sad because I didn't find what I'm looking for. That means our character has their power still. That means our character is not walking around feeling like, I can't believe this is what somebody did to me. Our character's like, can't believe that was such a bummer. Man, that was just a crappy, a knockoff. That wasn't the real deal. The quest goes on, but now it feels a little more exciting. It feels a little bit more uplifting. It's a subtle but important spin on the quest for what we want in life. And I think our character is wise enough to know that. They're also wise enough to know there's a lot of lovers on this planet, a lot of people that we'll be attracted to. And sometimes we'll wish that really attractive person that we have, a passion for also could be the one. But sometimes they're just going to be pretty imitations and the quest goes on. And forgive me, I know it sounds kind of shallow for me to say that, but honestly, I think this is a really good way to look at it, because not everything should be a devastating heartbreak. Our character didn't miss out on the perfect situation. It's that they haven't even found what they're really seeking yet. I kind of dig that. It takes a lot of the pressure off. It takes a lot of the feeling of hurt or loss off as well. In fact, it gets more exciting. We're still on the adventure. We're still on the quest. So I kind of dig that. Priya, here we go, love. Thank you for being patient with me. All right, here we go. We have got, High Priestess. So super intuitive. 9 of Wands, 6 of Cups. She has a strong intuition that something big is about to happen in her life. Someone is about to return. This could be a soulmate. This could be a romantic partner. And she's sensing, you know why it's going to happen? Because I'm about healed. The same way, I'm not saying this is how it works, but you know how once in a while, and I'll use like a negative, example, but it never fails. Like today, I'm having a horrible hair day. My hair is not staying up. And so what did I do? I said, today is going to be a day where I'm going to go live for 7 hours and do storytellings. I'm going to be on camera all day and I'm going to have the ugliest hair day ever. Why does it always go that way? Why do you have the nastiest hair day ever and you can barely keep your hair up? I think because it's warm and it's like my hair just goes flat. But why? It always works that way, right? Or if you're going to bump into somebody super hot, it's going to be the day when you just rolled out of bed, you're in, stained sweatpants, and, your baggy clothes and your hair's a mess and you got no makeup on. And that's the day you bump into somebody that was like your crush in high school. On a negative light, lots of times, the thing that we just know how much you want to bet that's going to happen. Right when I am so not looking forward to it, that's when it'll happen. Well, on this, it's like that, but on a more positive light. It's like this High Priestess says, how much you want to bet? I am barely healed from something. In fact, I'm still kind of working on healing a little bit. But how much you want to bet this is when the universe is going to send me a soulmate and expect me to be totally ready to engage when I'm still at a Nine of Wands? I'm going to meet the perfect person when I'm not asking for anybody. That's when I'm going to meet the love of my life. How much you want to bet? And I would say she's spot on. This may not be what our character is trying to call in. This may not be what our character needs or thinks that they need right now. And yet that's when we get the abundance of good stuff. Right when we are kind of like, hey, look, I've been healing. I'm at a Nine of Wands. I'm not quite done, but I'm pretty much there. In fact, I've been feeling good. Thought I'd be single for a while now. Nope. Here comes an amazing partner. And I just think it's kind of like the comedy of she can already sense it. She's like, how much you want to bet? This is not what I'm seeking. This is not what I need. So how much you want to bet this is what's coming? It's always like that. But again, okay, another song here. Rolling Stones. You can't always get what you want, but if you try sometimes, you just might find you get what you need. Things don't come in life when we want them. They come in when we're actually going to have the greatest experience with them, or when they'll be of greatest benefit in our life's journey. So a soulmate is coming in, ready or not. They're coming on in. It's actually kind of sweet. All right, Keandra, you are next, my dear. Thank you for being patient with me today. All right, here we go, love. We have got the Lovers. We have the Ace of Swords. We have the Page of Wands. Whoops. All upright. Very nice. With the Lovers card, we have these characters that are obviously like gravitating toward each other. We have, this is Paris in the background, so City of Love. I gotta say, somebody has fallen head over heels. They are smitten. And it's like, I'm waving the white flag. I'm surrendering to this. I know how I feel. We have a divine masculine, possibly a fire sign, who has reached this moment of full clarity. And it's like, what am I doing? What am I doing? I want this. He may have been wounded for a long time and only just now reached the point of saying, I'm ready to start the first step in the journey toward this romance. This could have been somebody who was convincing himself, I need to stay away. I have all these emotions. I'm not capable of dealing with them. There's no way I can do this. I'm too messed up. I'm too hurt. I'm too this. I'm too that. And finally, they're like, wait a second. That would be like, I'm really hungry. Somebody's offering me this wonderful plate of food. And I keep saying, no, see, you don't understand. I'm really hungry. It's like, yes, I know. I'm offering you this. No, see, you don't understand. I can't have the thing that I most need. That's kind of the equivalent of what this person was doing. And they're finally saying, wait a minute. This is exactly what I've been seeking. This is something beautiful. This is something soothing and healing. It's not something I'm not worthy of. It's something that has come into my life. It's a love that's been offered to me. It's a love that I feel, because that is what will heal and soothe me. And, kind of like I said, he had to wave the white flag and acknowledge this is exactly what I wanted. But for whatever reason, I had to surrender to it. I had to surrender to something beautiful and something good. This feels like we have a Two of Cups union on the horizon, but it's definitely a masculine who has to, start gravitating toward it. But in this storyline, that's what we see him doing. We see him finally, giving up the fight and the staying away and the pushing away and the insistence that I can't possibly go toward exactly what I want. Now he's like, why can't I? Yes, I am. In fact, that's exactly what I'm going to do. So it's nice to see the change. And a character, it's really nice, and it's also really rare to see a character finally like gravitate that direction. You guys, thank you so much. You guys are so kind. Hang on, let me scroll down. Did I see San Juanita out there? Sorry, the chat moves really fast. Heavenly Held Moments. Hi, honey. Okay, hang on just a second. Let me make my little list right now. So first off, San Juanita. I don't know if you're still out there, babe. And then Heavenly Held Moments. And Beth Ross. Hi, honey. Let me make sure I get to you. I know you've been so patient with me today. Thank you. I saw you out there in an earlier one. Oh my God. Thank you so much. Vyara, let me go ahead and get to you also, honey. Vyara Lamova. Thank you, love. You'll be right after Beth Ross, okay? And then StarlaRae. Thank you so much. Starla, you'll be right after Vyara, okay? Okay, so San Juanita, Heavenly Held Moments, Beth Ross, Vyara, and StarlaRae. And let me make sure that the chat is still moving. So sometimes it gets a little bit, it'll stop moving, and then I didn't see that I probably kept you guys waiting, and I'm so sorry about that. I didn't see it moving. Kendra, I'm sorry. It's been tough, sweetheart. Sending you lots of love, lots of support. All right, here we go. Let me jump on in. San Juanita, let's get to yours first, honey. And I think, let me make sure that's not in the way. Okay. Okay, good. Chat is moving again. Here we go. Oh, hang on. Cindy, Tex, I got to get you one too. You've been super patient. All right. Cindy 13, Tex, sorry. You'll be after StarlaRae, okay? San Juanita, back to you, babe. Here we go. We have got the Six of Swords in the reverse. We have the Eight of Swords upright. We have the Hanged Man upright. Hanged Man is Piscean energy. It does say that a character has been maybe stuck in some tension, stuck in some kind of stress. And it does look like we have a feminine who has just been going through it. The thing is, as much as it feels stuck and as much as it feels like, man, this is not this, I'm not shaking this off right now. I'm feeling the tension. I'm feeling the pressure. This says, thankfully, in comes a more powerful message coming in from the universe. And it says to look at a situation from a different perspective. Why do we ever get stuck in anything? And I'm not, okay, let me reframe this just a little bit, because it's going to sound like, oh, everything bad that happens to us is such a, it's just something we're supposed to learn from, and we just didn't get the lesson, so that's why we just have to suffer. And I do not tell stories like that. I am very against that, like martyrdom is a good thing, or like the only way we can learn is if we're going through pain, or victim shaming and being like, oh, you're having a tough time, must be you just need to learn a lesson. Like, so I don't want to frame it like that at all. So just to be very clear, because what I'm about to say could have sounded that way, and that is so not what I mean. This sucks. Okay, this character does not deserve to be stuck and feeling this way, first and foremost. However, right now it does say that there is some wonderful payout here. This, if a character could look at the stuck energy, maybe as, okay, hang on, if there's nothing I can do right now to move beyond this at the moment, then what can I do to make use of this time? So let's say this is a character who wanted to move, but guess what? They can't. There's, not enough money. There's not openings. There's lots of times in life we have blockages, and it sucks. But is there something that our character could actually use this time for? Like, let's use a different example. We had a busy schedule. We go to the dentist's office, and guess what? There's going to be an extra 3-hour delay. What do? We can be mad. We can be like, well, this threw off my day. Or we can say, well, I have to have that tooth worked on. So what can I do in these 3 hours that I can't go back to work because the tooth pain's too bad? I have to sit here because I've got to have this appointment. Okay, what if I could use this time to close my eyes, meditate, listen to something soothing, watch my favorite show on an iPad? What if I could take this as like a much needed 3-hour breathing space? Since I can't do anything else, can I use this time for something else that would benefit me? I know it's a hard way to have to, turn lemons into lemonade, but it does say that there is some hidden gift even in the blockage. If our character could look at it as, if I can't move forward in something, maybe I can pause then and surrender to it and say, this isn't going to happen today. I mean, for me, if there's I was petrified, by the way, what if there's internet issues, because those pop up and I have no control over them. And on a day when I've told everybody we're going to go live all day, what if this were a crappy internet day? And I was like, oh my God, between solar storms and all the different things going on and updates and uploads and things on YouTube, what if I have nothing but problems today? I mean, when that happens, sometimes I'm like, well, I can't create any stories. So then I turn my attention to other creative endeavors that I have. Sometimes that's all we can do, is we use it for something else. We use the time for something else. And again, that's not less stressful and is not what our character should have to deal with. But it does say there is some little peace here for our character if they can see it from a different perspective. Maybe they need a time to rest. Maybe they deserve a time to rest as much as they want to push forward. So, this is kind of a gentle message from the universe, even though it doesn't maybe sound like our character is going to love hearing it. But there is support here in a different way if our character maybe can allow themselves to take something as an opportunity to take care of themselves for a change. I know it still is a tough one, but I do hope our character tends to their needs. All right, next up, heavenly held moments. Here we go, love. Hi, guys. Heavenly held moments. Let's get to it. We have got a Knight of Swords upright. We have the Nine of Cups upright. We have the Knight of Cups. So we got lots of action in here. Two knights plus some genie from Aladdin action going on. I feel like we have got possibly a very hot couple headed toward one another with a little help from the divine, right? We have a feminine who's clearly in an awesome energy. She is excited about her life. She's feeling positive. She's feeling connected to the divine. She's feeling like, hey, divine, any of the things that I've hoped to have in my life, if it starts to show up at all, trust me, I'm going to meet it 50-50. I'm going to meet it halfway. Anything, oh, I love that song, Meet Me Halfway Across the Sky. This feels like that story. Two people that will put in effort to see each other, to start a romance, to see where this thing could go. And it's all because there's this belief that, hey, I asked for something awesome. If I meet somebody that seems to be putting their energy in, yes, let me see where this thing goes. I told the universe I would I put my 5 on it. If somebody else puts their 5 on it, I would go for it. Maybe this isn't who I expected it to be, but on the other hand, I like a surprise gift, a surprise package. Yes, I would be willing to match my energy to something that is coming into my life and see, is this something really special? Is this something that will add this wonderful value into my life? Is this the love of my life? Is this a divine counterpart? Let me explore it. I'll definitely go find out. And because they're coming toward me, so I'll go toward them. It feels like an adventurous character, and it feels like somebody who is saying, not everything is exactly what we expect it to be, but I'm up for the adventure. I'm your Huckleberry. I just feel like she's got this great attitude. Mostly she's very happy and she's very willing to participate in life. And I feel like she's meeting somebody who could be her match, somebody who is a similar, like, let's try this. Let's see what happens here. I think these two could be an absolute hoot to be around too. I like both of their energies. They just seem, again, action takers, not knowing how things are going to go, but let's give it a whirl anyway. Let's try. I love it. Next up, Beth Ross. Here we go. Samani, I'm so glad you're still here. Thank you so much for being here, honey. Sorry it took me so long to get to you. All right, here we go. We have a Page of Cups upright. We have a King of Coins upright. And we have the Twin Flame card. Okay, so hang on just a second. So, Beth, I actually love this card because we see, I always think of them as bananas in their skins on the same little banana bunch. I don't know if somebody recently bought bananas or what, but them in their little banana pods over here hanging off of the tree of love. They are similar. They're more similar than dissimilar. And one of the things that they're similar in is that they've both had hurts and pains. They've both had to improve their energy. And I would say this could be their chakras that we're seeing. One could have had a blockage in their throat chakra. The other one could have had a blockage in their third eye chakra. And this is two people that had to work on those things. Well, I feel like they've done it. We have this Page of Cups. We have, two people in this picture frame. We have growth here. This started a long time ago. The Page of Cups says, because remember, this is actually our third card. So I shouldn't have talked about it first, but I feel like I needed to start at the ending because this is where our story is kind of like going, or this is where it's at. But this was the past, or this is has played out already, is two people started something. And we even have they drink coffee together. Coffee is the wake up thing. Like they were awakened to each other. And at least for a hot minute, they shared emotion, they shared love. But there had to be some maturity, some growth, and that takes time to go from a page to a king. And I'm talking about it as like the relationship, not necessarily as the person, but to go from, okay, I've experienced something that, wow, I like this. And we shared something, and maybe we took a photo together. Maybe we went fishing together. Maybe we shared coffee in bed together. Maybe we had a starting point of love, but we were still wobbly. We were new to meeting each other. So we were new to what this love story could be. And it may have pushed both of us to realize, damn, before we're going to be good at this, we're probably going to have to grow into this connection. And that's not a bad thing. It just says there was passage of time here. But the beautiful thing is both of these characters either healed some things within themselves, particularly in certain chakras. They were able, I mean, they've always been on the same banana bunch. They're part of the same like soul grouping. They're a great match. And maybe that explains why we actually have more harmony and more understanding that there's always been a love story. There's always been the awareness that more time needed to pass for some growth to occur because both of them had some scars. But the love was always there, has always been there. But at this point, it kind of looks like there is a really good opportunity for these two to have reached that point, since they're sitting in this very like meditative state, and we see like very specific chakras that are being represented here. I kind of feel like the time for these two to actually say, wow, we have grown into this. We can actually be together and be successful at this point. This could be two people who have been together all this time, but they had some ups and downs. But it's all been because they've been growing closer together, working through things. And now here they are as this evolved duo. I don't know why, but it's like, I feel like it's time to mash the bananas together, make a nice banana bread. I don't know why I want to say it that way, but these two, I think, are going to be amazing together. But admittedly, it has been a challenging and, growth inspiring process. That is for sure. So, really nice to see. Oh my God, San Juanita, you definitely give me far too much credit. I never know what songs are going to pop up or when. And if I tried to commit to that, I would be forcing it. I kind of only have songs that pop up at random. And I never know what I'm going to get. So I wouldn't want to try to set that goal, because then it would probably be insincere, and I just let it flow if it pops in. Vicky, you angel, thank you so much. And Candace Jackson, thank you for your patience. I will get to both of you. Hang on just a second. All right. So, Vicky, that was so incredibly generous. Thank you, honey. All right. So Vicky, 5897. Vicky, you'll be right after Cindy 13 Tex, okay? And then Candace Jackson, I will get to you right after Vicky, okay? Thank you for all your patience with me. All right. So next up I have Vyara. Here we go, love. You're so sweet, Vicky. That's really nice. All right. So here we go. Vyara Lamova. Your name is just like music. I just absolutely love it. We have Justice. We have Page of Wands. We have Ace of Wands. The Justice card shows up when something's been wrong and the universe is like, oh, hell no, we are not doing this. This needs to get course corrected, okay? The thing is, with the Page of Wands and the Ace of Wands, our character has already course corrected it for themselves. Now, this is strong Libra energy. This could be something to do with the judicial system, but this has, because something has been wrong, we have... Okay, so let me put it this way. Sometimes when something is totally unfair, we get motivated to say, screw this. I'm not putting up with this. And that's where we find our spice and our fire that says, I'm going a whole different direction. In fact, you know what? Because you tried to hold me down, you tried to hold me back, I absolutely reject that. No one's going to tell me who I am, what I am, where I have to go, how I have to do things. You said I can't. Let me show you how much I can. You said I'm not allowed to. Let me, hold my beer, step aside. I can do this. In fact, now I want to do it even more. And I do feel like whatever this is a character who's like, they're brilliant, they're creative, they're passionate, and whatever or whomever unfairly either told this person that they couldn't do something, told this person that they weren't allowed to, told this person that they don't get to, big mistake. But maybe the best mistake they could have made, because look at how it fired this character up and look at how it tested this character to say, hang on. Sorry, I'm hearing that song. How hard do you want it? Hard as it can get. That that's what I'm hearing right now. Like, do you really want this? Yeah, actually I do. And I want it even more because somebody else tried to keep it from me. Nobody tells me what I can and can't have. I get to go ahead and do what's right for me. And so I feel like sometimes the best way to have justice come back into our life is when we use an injustice to say, I'm more determined than ever, and I realize just how much I want it because something has been unfairly blocked. So I'm gonna make more phone calls to make sure that I get through to the right person. I'm gonna go ahead and apply myself even more to have success. This is about somebody who's going to be successful in their life, even against the odds, even against whatever. I mean, this could be somebody who's like, no, I'm definitely going to find a real love story and be with somebody that I really want. Why? Because I didn't get treated well by somebody previously. But you think I'm going to give up on love? You think you're going to crush me? No. First, I was afraid. I was petrified to think I'd live without you by my side. I will survive. That's the song on my mind right now. So I think a character, in spite of blockages, in spite of unfairness, is actually using it to their advantage and not just rising to the occasion, but it is going to be a massive reason why this character is tremendously successful in their life. So very powerful and very beautiful character. Good for them. StarlaRae, you are next, honey. Thank you for all your patience with me, honey. Here we go. StarlaRae, what do we have? StarlaRae, I don't know if you're still in the house or not. Hang on, let me 136. 36, 29. And Vyara Lamova, I think you are still in the house, but if not, let me see if I can backtrack and say probably about 130-ish. Okay. StarlaRae, I'm sorry, you guys had gifted me something and I didn't see it till way later on, so you guys got stuck waiting for quite a while, and I wouldn't normally have done that to you. So I just, if I can make it right by maybe time stamping it for you, I'll do my best for you. We have got the Four of Wands in the reverse. We have the Chariot upright. We have the Empress upright. Four of Wands in the reverse says this could be somebody who's divorced. This could be somebody who is like, you know what? I'm divorcing myself from this, from an idea or a life path that just no longer suits me because frankly, I've outgrown it. It's funny because an Empress is usually the person that's married, but here we see her distancing herself from something. I want to say uncoupling herself from something, setting herself free. I'm picturing somebody like unhitching like one of the train cars on a train. And it's because that's not the right path, or that's not the train tracks for her to ride anymore. I don't know. This could be somebody who is married and divorced. And the fact of it is, they're like, and honestly, I would love to be married again, but I'll look for something different this time. Sorry, there's some song in my head. This time, baby, I'll be something. God, it's a woman singing it. I can't hear it. I can't hear whose voice it is. But in any case, this time I'm going to do it different. This time I'm going to get a different timeline going. I feel like this is a pretty dynamic character. Maybe she was pushed into a marriage at some point with somebody that wasn't right for her. She's like, yeah, that's not who I am. That's not what I want. I'm going, yes, bulletproof. Thank you so much. Vocal elaborations. Thank you so much. This feels like a character is totally shifting gears and saying, this time I pick who I want to marry. I'm not going to be influenced by anybody else. Or this time I'm going to go ahead and go down a completely different path. This could be about career. Four of Wands could be anything that should match up for us, but in this case isn't. It's a timeline jump. It's something that I used to be all invested in. It was what I lived, ate, breathed, and slept. This was the life that suited me really well, or so I thought at one point, only to discover it didn't suit me at all anymore. Maybe she outgrew it, or maybe it never suited her, but she was invested in it for a period of time. All I can say is there's a lot of confidence moving forward. Admittedly, our character is in a wheelchair. They could be recovering from a spiritual exhaustion, but man, is she recovering like a bomb. Man, she's better than ever. Or this could be a physical injury that she's recovering from simultaneously. But it's sometimes things that change our life, we bounce back brighter and stronger and more confident than ever. That's exactly what's happening for her. Um, and maybe her gait will never have been better. If you, I mean, heaven forbid, if a character, breaks something, um, whatever, falls down, breaks an ankle or something, then you go through the surgery, you go through the healing, then you go through physical therapy, and they might actually course correct all kinds of muscular imbalances. And it's like, oh my God, I've never actually felt this balance before. My hips, my knees, everything feels better. Sometimes we come out stronger and we come out feeling like that was a crazy thing, but it was the best thing that ever happened to me. That's the way this comes across. A character is done with one thing that never really was right for them. It was always a little off kilter. And the changes that they're making, although it's a pretty big overhaul, they've never been brighter. They've never been more confident. And if this is about finding a love match, our character will finally have the love match they really want. If this is about finding the career path, this could be somebody who's like, honestly, I'm not meant to work for somebody else. I can do my own thing. This person will be successful in whatever they do as an empress. They're going to have an empire. They're going to commit to something that really works for them at this point. Very powerful character for sure. All right, Cindy 13 Tex. Thank you so much, honey. Let's see what we have. We have got the star card. It is sideways, so Aquarius energy. We have the 5 of coins, and we have the devil. Somebody wanted something at one point in time quite a bit. And it was maybe something toxic. And they're still healing from that because a part of them still wants it. I think we've all been there, right? It's like, damn, I want that person. I miss that person, but we're so bad together. Or I miss their voice. I mean, they annoyed me like within the first 3 minutes of any conversation we had because this person's toxic, they're selfish, they're a liar, they're all over the place, whatever it may be. But man, I miss them sometimes. And I know that's because I'm still healing from this. But I love the fact that this is a character who's really honest with themselves. Setting a goal, it needs to be realistic anyway. Acting like we can just leave something behind, that would be almost like devaluing a life experience. And almost everything in our life that we choose is going to have some reason, some purpose, something of value that we got out of it. And maybe what our character is, I think it's kind of good that they're not trying to pretend, oh, I'm totally over it, doesn't matter anymore. They're also not saying, I still want it and I'm sure it'll all work and it'll be perfect. This is a character being very realistic with themselves and not trying to force themselves to act like I don't still cry sometimes, but also not trying to put on rose-colored glasses and be like, you know what, this is going to be perfect. It'll all work out. This is still going to be back in my life. No, I think this is a character being really, they're honoring an experience that they had. They're processing what they gained from it, what they lost from it, and kind of understanding that, look, our character is very special. This character is very, very unique in the fact that they can distance themselves enough from something to be honest with themselves. As an Aquarian, they're going to be somebody who can see the big picture, very independent thinkers, very smart. And this character is emotionally intelligent and they're processing through something and not forcing themselves to get through a grieving process on it. So that I don't think that they want to slip backwards. I think they're starting to recognize which of my needs weren't met. And it's not to vilify somebody and say, now I don't have to miss them because you know what? They sucked. They didn't fulfill my needs. I think it's more like a character is identifying like what were the things that I didn't get from them, but what were the reasons that I was gravitating toward them? What was it that I was seeking in them? So that then I always look at this like if you're going to cook dinner, and you have this idea of some great meal you want to fix, you got to first look in your pantry to see what items do I have and what items, more importantly, do I not have. So then you can make your grocery list. And you don't cry and be like, oh my God, I wanted to make pasta tonight, but I haven't got any red sauce. What am I going to do? Like, we don't cry over that. We just go, okay, I'm going to make spaghetti. I've got some pasta. Got to go get some tomatoes. Going to need some basil. Going to use some Italian seasonings. I got to go shopping for a few items. It's great to look at this so rational and say, all I'm going to do is I'm going to look at this as I'm hungry. I want some of that yummy pasta, but I got to go shopping for the right ingredients so I can make the best pasta ever. And that's kind of what our character is looking at this as. I wanted this. I'm still hungry for it, but I got to go shopping for the right ingredients or the right person. And I'm figuring out what that looks like. I'm making my shopping list now. So it's a character evaluating something and allowing themselves to say, I am healing every step of the way, but I'm not forcing myself to pretend like this, like there wasn't something for me to learn about this. And I'm not forcing myself to act like it wasn't disappointing. Or like there isn't something that I want or wanted from this, but I'm using it as something I can then, like create my shopping list from. So I don't know. I think this is such a brilliant character. And it's also like we can see them processing really fast because they're very close to having that card upright. That card wasn't in the reverse. Star card was sideways. So they're real darn close to being able to just tilt it one more quarter turn and they're going to be fully healed. So they're this close to it. I feel like there's a nice, breakthrough coming up for this character. Anyway, thank you again, sweetheart. Oh, honey, thank you so much. Good to see you, Heavenly Held Moments. My pleasure. So glad you were here today. All right. And Vicky 5897, thank you for your patience and thank you for your beautiful donation. That was really generous. Let's go ahead and see what we've got. I feel like I haven't used this deck at all today, and I adore the art on this. So this deck, I only read it in the upright no matter what comes out because this deck has 2 meanings on each card already. And we actually ended up with 4 cards, not 3. And my rule is I keep them. If more come out, then we have to keep them because otherwise I'd be picking and choosing the story and I don't want to do that. So we have an Ace of Wands moving to the 2 of Wands. And we have the Hand of the Divine coming down to light her inspiration. I almost feel like this is more the 2 of Wands going to the Ace of Wands, actually. Because she's in, the foreground. She's standing here saying, which road should I take? And the Hand of the Divine is coming down and saying, sweetheart, you already know on one hand. Who are you? What do you want? What do you like? Your heart knows the answer already, but here, let me, remind you that you know the answer in here already. Which path do you want to take? Which outcome do you want? You know the answer to that. So I feel like, yes, the universe is, coming down to give her a little bit of guidance here, but the universe speaks to her through her heart space. So, maybe she's going to do that thing where she does, quick word association, like, if somebody's going to sit down and say, SUV or truck, and you instantly respond with your first instinct, it's like truck. Okay, now you actually prefer a truck over an SUV. Pudding or pie. Okay, now your heart immediately first instinct was I like pie better than pudding, or that's what I'm craving right now. And maybe that's something the universe is like, hey, if you're saying which do I want, think about the end result of something. If she's saying, do I move to this house or that house, the duplex, or do I buy the park, or do I live in a big city setting in a high rise? And if you think about it, like, what would the end goal be? Well, on one hand, I would be outside more in the park, or I would be, in like a lavish lifestyle in an inner city in a high rise. So ask that instead of ask which place do you want to live in, ask which environment do you want to be in, and then answer like park or, luxury. And it's like, oh, park, I'm an outdoorsy person. Okay, now she knows which way to go. Her heart already knew it. I'm not saying that's what it is. I'm just saying our character is like, thinking about these things and maybe trying to find the answer. We have a 4 of Swords to the 5 of Swords. If there has been somebody that was vexatious to our character's soul, they were somebody that acted like they wanted to heal things, but then would always pick fights. That might be something to pay close attention to. That's something our character is not missing. Like they're aware of this. We have the 7 of Cups going to the 8 of Cups. There's a reason that I left something. It's because in truth, if somebody is not, it's very hard to create peace with somebody who doesn't actually give that in return. Somebody who immediately gets hostile can be really hard to talk to. Maybe they're too wounded to have great dialogue with. So instead it's like, okay, I keep having to back away from somebody because we're not getting to a place of peace. We're having hostile conversation. And if I realize what I really want is to have peace, but I can't have it with somebody because their wounds are too great, maybe it's a them issue and not a me issue. And maybe they would have to choose to work on some of their wounds rather than me sticking around and getting wounded by them. Look, we can look at a character very compassionately who's very like, hostile and say, I want to work it out with them, but it's very difficult or impossible when it turns into conflict. And maybe recognizing like it's not me. I could be as sweet as pie, but if they don't want to collaborate and cooperate, I'm not going to be able to collaborate and cooperate with them. So I think I exit stage left because they have to work on that part of themselves. I can't fix them. They have to want to fix whatever that pain and that hostility, wherever that origin is. And I kind of think this is a character recognizing it isn't maybe my job to fix another person, but at the heart of everything, in order to fix a connection, it would take two of us. They're not ready to do that yet. Will they ever be ready? I don't know, but it's not my task. It's not me who has to do that. We have this floating highlighted flower over here, and it makes me think of Beauty and the Beast. Remember how the Beast is like all, angry all the time and, very hostile and, like he needs to change that behavior so that he can have true love and then transform back into a man from a beast. I'm not saying some dude is a beast, okay? But I'm just saying that flower being highlighted is very reminiscent of the Beauty and the Beast rose that keeps dropping off flowers because he has like a time limit. And I almost feel like this love story has a time limit. Like, I don't know. I'm not going to keep trying to deal with somebody who keeps creating drama because they have to work on themselves. They have to quit being, the bear with the sore paw. They have to try to heal something in themselves, and I can't force it or make them. But at some point, I'm going to stop holding space until they do this, and I'm going to probably have to move on. We have the Strength card moving to the Hermit. This is actually one of my favorite, my second favorite card in the entire deck. So Virgo energy going to Leo energy. You notice how it is hard to walk away from somebody who it's like they have quite the obstacle. There's this big old mountain that they have to climb. But believing in somebody and saying I fully believe that to give them the respect and say, I know that if they want to heal something, they will. I know they can do that for themselves. It's not my job to poke and prod, not my job to piggyback them, but I'm going to go ahead and leave them with beautiful words, which is, listen, if you ever want to, reconnect where maybe we both try to heal something, I am absolutely there. And if you need some time to heal other things first, totally understandable. It just feels like we have a character who is giving space for somebody to, you got to go and work on stuff with that hermit's journey. I completely have confidence, though, that you can find the answers that you need. I know I've read this in a really one-sided story, but it kind of looks like a feminine is letting a masculine work through what he needs to, but I think she's leaving him with the most uplifting energy, not like an ultimatum, like figure yourself out or I'm not going to be with you. I think it's more like I know that there's some scars and I know there's some stuff that only you can fix. And I absolutely, like, out of sheer respect for you as a person, I know you got to do what you got to do. That's also her saying, and I respect myself, protect myself from something that isn't mine to fix. It just feels like there's this mutual understanding and respect being given here so that the journey that is necessary so that everybody can blossom is allowed to occur. So it's not so much about like, oh, you suck, I'm not going to be with you, or, you need to fix yourself and then you can come back. It's such a much more respectful and like honoring way to think about this story, even though admittedly it's kind of a tough one. Sorry, we get what we get, in these stories. Some are fun and soft and some are a little bit deeper and a little bit heavier. They are always fictional. Do bear that in mind. But I don't know. I still actually loved this character. And oh my God, thank you so much, Rachel. You're so kind. Rachel, let me go ahead and add you in here. And then let me see. We'll probably only have time for like one or two more before I wrap up this session because I will stop in like about 7 minutes or so. All right, next up, Candace, my dear. Actually, I don't think that doesn't feel like the right deck in my hands. I don't know why. I never like the feel of that deck. The images are nice, but it's not my fave. My hand went there first, but it doesn't feel right. I want something. There we go. Okay. I want something, I don't know why, but celestial. Okay. So let's see what we've got here. Maybe this is more of like a message from the stars. Maybe this is, we have justice. We have Knight of Cups. We have Nine of Cups. We have the Moon. Um, to have these bookends of, there has been a strong Libra and then possibly a strong Piscean energy on either side of this. So we do have two zodiacs coming up. So when I said I wanted something celestial, we could very specifically being, dealing with either the zodiacs themselves or just the energy thereof, right? So a dreamscapey energy coming off of the Piscean vibe, and then also possibly like somebody who's more focused on balance, beauty, somebody who could look very, very nice, by the way, puts their clothing together really well, probably puts together outfits absolutely fabulous, and somebody who's always trying to see the other side of things. But this is also somebody looking for facts, and this would be somebody who's very much a dreamer and very much maybe not very grounded. And in between this, if this is a relationship situation between two people, we have a Knight of Cups, and it says, I'm interested in this, but I want to give. And the other person could be in this dreamscape going, oh, this is so great. This is just like a dream. This is just what I've wanted to receive. And they may be oblivious to the fact that that's kind of unfair to take and enjoy what somebody is giving without offering something in return. And they may be a bit oblivious to this. Sometimes things can get out of balance and out of whack, and nobody intends to be cruel or unkind, but it does feel like we may have possibly a feminine who is giving an awful lot and is very loving and puts in effort and remembers somebody's, favorite drink, and, make sure that they put in effort to make somebody feel really special. And this person is lapping it up. This is yummy. This is nice. Oh God, look at this. They got me my favorite candy. They remember my favorite drink. I am basking in this. It is filling my cup 9 times over. I am overflowing with like joy. This is so great. And it's like completely, they're oblivious because they're in kind of like this little happy, donut glazed eyes. They're like, wow, this is so amazing. I'm being treated so nice. But they're oblivious to the fact that, hey, have you turned around and given something like that in return? Are you checking and making sure that the person who's giving you so much, you're also giving equally too? I think this is a one-sided vibe right now. Like it's very like gift heavy in favor of this person here. They're receiving from whomever this is, and it's going to start to come back and bite them because that's how karma works. You do something and then it has a consequence. So the more this character gives, the more depleted they could get. The more this person receives, the more joyful they are, but they're becoming gluttonous and they're not really giving. And so we could have like this situation that's about to come around and be like, something's out of balance. Now, that doesn't mean that this is a bad relationship. I mean, it needs to be balanced, but it doesn't mean that somebody's a bad person or that they're trying to hurt each other or take too much. It might be that they really don't realize that they're doing this. And so maybe it needs to be communicated. Maybe it needs to be, because this person feels oblivious. If this is the way they live their whole life and they simply don't care and they want to stay oblivious, then it probably would be a no-go. But if it's just that things have to be brought back into balance through communication, and maybe through this character not giving quite as much, and maybe like letting them know what they would like in return. When we're talking about emotions, especially, like, this is how I feel emotionally supported. This is how I feel loved, but I haven't really been getting that from you. It doesn't mean that this couldn't work, but it does say things are out of whack and they need to be brought into balance if this is going to be successful. Because right now it's a one-way street. I see that this could totally come back into orbit. And maybe since I was looking for something celestial, maybe this is about things, moving through an orbit, right? Everything changes, we're constantly rotating. So maybe the role of giver and taker needs to rotate as well. Maybe that's why I was looking for something celestial. I don't know. But I definitely like seeing a change here. All right. And then Rachel, and then I'm just going to add one more, and then I'm going to stop here, and I will see you guys over on Tarot Dog from 9 to 10 p.m. Okay. I'm just going to add one more in here. Lauren Co, thank you for being so patient. Lauren, I will get you right after, Rachel here, okay? And then that'll be it for this channel tonight. And then I'll go over to Tarot Dog afterwards. So we are at, this ends hour 6. I've done 6 hours of storytelling today, but we're going to do one more hour over on Tarot Dog, and that'll be at 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, okay? So basically in 2 hours, because I have to eat and I have to take care of Aries, and he has to eat his dinner too. And then he's going to want walkies. So, and I don't know if you guys could hear him shuffling over there, but he's like, Mommy, you told me 7 o'clock. We have the Tower. We have the Page of Cups. Okay, Rach, let me get you one more, hun. I love that Tower card because it makes me think of Paris, and I love Paris. I also love the Tower card. Oh, and 2 of Wands. Okay, so we do have possibly a feminine who's about to have a new contender for their heart. Somebody is dropping their guard. Now, this could be a divine masculine. They could be an Aries. They could also be a water sign, or she's about to see a side of them that she has never seen before. They're coming in with this gigantic bouquet. They're a little shy about this. They're coming in, hiding their face behind the bouquet. This could be an apology that she never believed she'd hear from them. And she's going to have to decide, what do I do with this? If you're coming in to say sorry, and I did not expect this of you, holy smokes, what do I do with you now? Do I want to accept this? Do I want to reject this? Do I believe this? Does it change the way I feel? What am I going to do about this? So she could be in a place where, it's all up to her. This could also be, this is just somebody who wants to offer her a love offer. She maybe didn't see this one coming. And so it's like, oh, I didn't know this was going to be an option for me. Not to make people into options, but when somebody is interested and you didn't see it coming because this was not the vibe that they had put off, of course, it's like, I never thought of them as a potential romantic interest. So now I have to reconsider them in this light. It doesn't mean she's picking between 2 different people. It could be like, oh, I was about to commit myself to some, like big project where I had told myself I'm not going to try dating or something for a little bit because it's going to take all of me to get through this next, month and a half of some big project at work. And then after that, I'm taking a vacation. So I wasn't thinking about dating. And now I just didn't even know that there would be somebody who would show up. I certainly didn't expect it to be them. I didn't expect the flowers. I didn't expect this person could be a little bit awkward, a little bit nervous about this, but boy, it does look like a really beautiful bouquet. I feel like they put their heart into picking this. I'm not saying they're bringing in a bouquet, but let's just say that their emotions are a beautiful bouquet. But what will she do about this? Only she knows. But it is going to throw a new thing into her, collection of life choices to make. Could I still do the big work project, take a vacation, and start a romance? Would I want to accept an apology from this person? What would that mean if I did? What place would they play in my life? She's going to have, unfortunately, I know this can be complicated, but she's going to have to figure that out. I got to get one more card on this because that just feels like it didn't say much other than we all have to figure stuff out. Okay, Queen of Cups. She's going to have to figure out the truth of her emotions about something. Does she feel like giving? A Queen of Cups, because I do think that queens measure, first off, what do I want, but also how much can I invest in the thing that I want? And they know when to stop investing or when not to invest if the thing that they want is not going to be good for them. That's kind of what it takes to be a queen, is how I always think of it. Like, there's lots of stuff we want in life, but when we become mature enough, we have self-control and we go, oh man, I wish I could have that, but it's out of my budget. That's why I'm not spending the money on that. Or, oh, I wish I could be with that person, but in truth, we aren't good together. Or I would like to give to this. It might be a little bit bumpy. There might be some complications. Life's going to be busy, but I would like to give to this. I would like to see what happens. I won't overinvest, but if my heart and my emotions want something, I'm not going to deny myself. So then I have to sit in the land of regrets my whole life. Queens and kings, I think, are also really good at knowing how to balance responsibility and don't live life with regrets. I kind of see her taking a whirl on this, but it's up to her. It's only if the, potential cost and, success ratio balances out. Would I invest in this? Do I want to invest in this? Do I think I could have success here? How much can I afford to invest before I figure out if I keep going or if I pull back. I think she's going to be able to do that. I don't think she's going to miss out on a chance if she wants to take a chance. I don't think she's going to cheat herself out of that. All right, and last but not least, Lauren Coe. Here we go. Thank you again, everybody, for all your patience with me. I'm sorry, I know I never am able to get to everybody, no matter how many hours I put in, but we still have one more hour to go. So those of you that I didn't get to, especially, I will do my best and see how many. We might do one card pulls. I don't think so, though. I think we're going to keep it to 3 because I can't see a story in one card very well. I can see a single message, but it also feels too hectic. I like the 3 card pulls myself. I'm more relaxed in them. We have a 5 of Wands. We have a Tower. I love this Tower card. I always love the Tower, but I particularly love this one because it's like, oh, there's a great song by Rainbow Kitten Surprise called Code Blue. If you get lost, babe, stay where I can hear you. Something about like, it's like I'm gonna come get you. Like, don't even grab your coat. I'm coming to get you. It's, if you need me, send out the code blue and I'll be there. For some reason, that's what this feels like to me. We have, oh, this is beautiful. We have, what a great message to end this particular chapter on, this storytelling session. We've got this awesome, 5 of Wands where she's been maybe asking herself all kinds of questions. Maybe she's been evaluating, analyzing, looking for something, maybe not realizing what she needs is somebody that she believes would stand beside her through hell or high water, through good times, through bad, somebody that doesn't run. Maybe that's what she is realizing. That's what I've been looking for, is a partner that I actually feel is a partner. Somebody I think I could put my hand in theirs and I actually believe that they have what it takes to be beside me. Well, that is exactly what she is getting. Sometimes when we realize what we're hungry for, we realize what we're looking for, that's when we're better at evaluating who fits that bill. Who is that person? It feels like it's a feminine who's realizing who that person is. Almost like maybe he had already offered to be in her world and she wasn't sure about him. Sometimes we get hung up on like a kind of like a false 2 of Cups or a false love story, only to realize somebody else in our environment who's always been stable and who has all the qualities that we wanted in a partner, but we were looking for those qualities in somebody else. And we finally go, wait a minute, wrong person, right person. I've been looking in the wrong direction when somebody has all the things that I want and they were off to my right, but I kept looking in the left. That's almost what this vibe feels like. Like there's somebody who she's realizing has all the qualities that she's wanted. Somebody she would actually feel comfortable with, safe with, somebody that she would actually feel would stand beside her, somebody that would show up for her. That person already exists and they may be somewhere on the outskirts of her life, or she may be, since 5 is a number of change, this could just be her realizing that's the underlying thing that I'm seeking. Somebody that doesn't run, somebody that I can trust is going to be there when the shit hits the fan. Because life gets messy, but that's probably the single most important component. Who's going to be standing there holding my hand when everything goes down? I kind of think that since that's the quality that she's seeking, she's going to find it, because that just simplified everything to one singular, like that would imply like, I know I can trust them. I know they're steady. I know there's somebody that I can rely on. I know there's somebody who has my back. I know there's somebody that I can respect. Well, that's all of it rolled into one. That's who I'd fall in love with. And it's like the universe is going, hallelujah, you just got it. Oh, you nailed it in one sentence. I want that person. If you get lost, babe, stay where I can hear you because I'm coming to get you. Like that's maybe the kind of energy she wants in a partner. That is what she's finding. But she had to sort through this and come to that conclusion herself. And then I think it gets very easy to spot who that person is. Again, they could already be in the outskirts of her life, or she could have been keeping them at bay. This could be her opening up to somebody that she previously would not have considered a partner. But man, this is beautiful. There is a really strong unconditional love between these two. There is somebody that's just right for her. All right, you guys, I'm going to leave this here. Thank you so much, everybody. Sending you guys so much love. Sorry, I know I never get to everybody all at once, but we've got one more hour. That'll be our 7th hour today. I just wanted to celebrate you guys. Thank you for all of your kindness. You guys are unbelievably generous with me, with each other. It is so incredibly heartwarming, and I thank you guys so much. But it's also our equinox. So I wanted to celebrate that as well. And thank you everybody for your incredible energy. So I'll see you guys in 2 hours from now. I'll see you at 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on Tarot Dog. Bye guys. Take care. Aries, my love, I'm all yours.